I didn't know what a serving size was. I hated looking at myself in the mirror, that I was so fearful of rejection that I would much rather reject people first before they reject me. Hey guys, it's Germaine and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, I just want to say welcome. My name is Germaine. I make weight loss, self-improvement, my journey to just becoming a better human. I make those type of videos on this channel, and I love having you guys join me on my journey as I share with you guys the things I learned along the way, and I also share with you guys my hiccups as I am still on a weight loss journey as well as a self-improvement journey. I'm not perfect, but I'm working on trying to just be a better person so that I can add some level of benefit to society. So yeah, and I like having you guys on my journey. So last week I posted a video where I shared about how being obese ruined my life and ruined like majority of my life really, and I was so amazed by the level of support and the level of love that I got for that video, because I genuinely thought people were gonna hate it. I thought people were gonna come and attack me for talking about the things that I was talking about in that video, but like the exact opposite happened. Like I received so much of comments in that video, on that video, telling me how you guys feel directly impacted as well by the body positive movement, and how you're on a weight loss journey as well, or you know people who are on a weight loss journey as well, and like most of you agreed with me. I mean, not most of you, everyone that commented on the video agreed with me, and I'm so like appreciative of that. It really just affirms that I'm doing the right thing on this channel by sharing my stories and my journey and stuff like that. So yeah, today's video is something similar to that video. This is actually something that I wanted to, this is a topic that I wanted to share on this channel for some time now, but I didn't, because I think it was just something that would make me have to open up and be more vulnerable with sharing like my personal journey and stuff like that. And I think I was a little like concerned what people are gonna say, but you know what, like screw it. At this point I'm just like, if I'm doing this because I want to be honest and share my journey with you guys, then I want to do it like properly and do it all out. So that's what we're doing today. So today's video, I decided to share with you guys some of the weird things that I did when I was 120 kg. And sometimes now when I look back or think back to the way I used to think or the things that I was doing, I feel like I was a whole other person, and I kind of like empathize with that girl, and I feel like telling her like, hey, get your shit together, like today. Sometimes I wish I realized these things and started my journey sooner, but you know what, we're here now, better late than never. And so yeah, if you didn't know what I'm talking about and you just clicked into this video, I used to weigh 120 kg and I lost 40 kg, and I'm on my journey of losing another 15 kg. So that's the gist of it. And through my journey, I'm continuously learning new things about myself. At some point during COVID, I actually gained back a lot of the weight, and I was at 104 kg, and then I started back my journey like the end of December 2022, and now I weigh 80 kg. I definitely learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about weight loss and what it looks like and what works for me throughout my whole journey. If you're subscribed to my channel, then you will get to see me share all like my journey and the things that I've been doing. I've been posting a lot of videos related to what I'm doing currently to lose weight, so I have videos on that. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about my journey and my life, what it was like when I weighed 120 kg, and the things I was doing that was a little like... So one of the first things that I have to say, like this is like the number one thing that was so bizarre that was happening to me when I was that heavy, was that I didn't realize how unintuned I was with my body. I felt like I was not paying attention to the things that, you know how like they say, oh, listen to your body, listen to your body. Like that's a real thing. You really need to listen to your body, because I feel like I remember the feelings that I was feeling when I was 120 kg and what I was doing in reaction to those feelings. Which is why I don't agree when morbidly obese people say that they love their bodies, because if you loved your body, you would be listening to your body. And I can promise you, morbidly obese people are doing the same things that I'm going to be saying in this video that I was doing, because come on, we all have to do something similar to get to that stage of being morbidly obese, and I definitely was on that path of being morbidly obese for sure. So for example, when I'm thirsty, instead of drinking water like a normal person, your body is saying, hey, I'm thirsty and I need water, my mind straight goes to some kind of sweet cold drink, whether it's sodas. Okay, I was not a big fan of sodas, but I definitely, my go-to was like some mango juice, and these are like cordials, okay, not like some fresh juiced up mango, it's like cordials. So my mind was straight go to like mango juice, or sometimes 100 plus. 100 plus was my favorite. Like I had so much energy being exerted, I needed 100 plus to refuel. But yeah, those were the kind of things that would be my go-to. I would go and drink something cold and something really sweet instead of just drinking water. I was not drinking enough water, and my body was saying it wanted water, and in return I gave it some kind of juice. Clearly was not listening to my body. When I felt full, like so stuffed, I would still be eating. I would still be okay. I think this came from a place of the fact that my family was really broke back in the day, and we didn't have money. So anytime like someone would invite us for like a dinner, or anytime there was like a Christmas event and there was food, I would act like this was my last time I'm getting an opportunity to eat food. And I carried that kind of habit throughout my life. So even when I started making money, actually when I started making money was when I was just like, oh my gosh, I finally have freedom to buy food. Like food is everything, food is achievement, food is life. And so I would spend all my money on food, and I would eat despite being so stuffed. I could tell that my stomach was like, oh my god, I cannot take it anymore. I would still stuff myself and force myself to eat everything that is there, everything that's on the plate. As long as it looked good, it was still going to go into my body. I was not listening to the fact that my body was saying, hey, I'm done, I cannot do this anymore. No, I was still eating. Sometimes I would eat until I felt sick. I would eat until I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe, so I cannot sit down, and I'm sitting down in like a leaning position because I'm so full. Like a pregnant lady, I would sit down. Why? I didn't know what a serving size was, so I just believed like you just eat until you're done eating. If I'm eating cereal, it's just a free pour until the bowl is full. If I was eating ice cream, just put it in, fill up the cup. If I was eating chocolates, you eat it until your tongue feels kind of numb and you hate the taste of chocolate and you feel like then you stop. Like there's no such thing as serving size. I didn't even know what a serving size was. You know the writings at the back of the box? I thought it was just words. Like who reads those things? Nobody sees. It's so crazy. I remember one of the things that I used to do when every month when I get my salary was I would go and buy this secret recipe cake. Secret Recipe has like the best cakes. I don't feel like their cakes are still as nice as they used to be, or maybe now I found other cake shops, but Secret Recipe used to be like the bomb. Everybody would always buy Secret Recipe cakes for people's birthdays, and I was introduced to Secret Recipe because every time my company had someone's birthday, they would always buy a Secret Recipe cake. And there was a time when there was this cake called Chocolate Indulgence. I don't know if they still have it. I think they do. But Chocolate Indulgence was like this cake that tasted like a mousse. It was like a white chocolate mousse and then a milk chocolate, and it was just so delicious, okay? And they bought it for someone's birthday in the office, and it's 1 kg. It's a 1 kg cake. We shared it with like everybody in the company. I went straight after that to Secret Recipe after work. I bought me a 1 kg. By the way, Secret Recipe have slices. You can just buy like one slice of Chocolate Indulgence cake. But no, your girl bought a 1 kg cake, and I kept it in the fridge. Now bear in mind that 1 kg cake can feed up to 10 or 12 people, I believe. I ate that cake by myself within 2 or 3 days. I ate it throughout the day. I packed it for work. I was just living my best life eating. I was eating this cake throughout the week. and I would do things like this all the time. My body and I were just not working together. Like, I was not listening to anything it was telling me. I was just doing whatever I wanted. How then can I say that I love myself when I don't even love my body enough to listen to it? My knees and my feet were telling me like, hey, this is too heavy, I cannot carry it anymore, like it's really hard. I was not listening to it. I just kept growing and growing and growing because I needed to eat. I just desperately loved food and I didn't like moving around. I used to try so hard to be overly funny because I think it was a method of like compensating for my lack of physical attraction. I kind of like hid the real person that I was on the inside, and I kind of created this personality of just being this really funny, overly exaggerating kind of funny person, and it was so cringe and painful to watch. I used to make YouTube videos back in the day. I'm going to show you guys some clippings here, but every time I hear the way I used to talk, it was so high-pitched, it was so like over-the-top funny. It was a character that I was playing. That was not who I am. That was not who I was. But I felt that I needed to be this kind of person in order to be noticed, to be heard. I remember making like videos about how lazy I was. So I would tell people like, oh, I'm just so lazy. But really, I wasn't lazy. I just lost myself. I didn't know who I was, and I just didn't care about myself. It didn't come from a place of, because if you're somebody who's lazy, then you're just lazy all the time. Like, you would be lazy even when you look super attractive. You'll be lazy no matter what state you are in. Like, it was not laziness, it was me just not caring anymore. Or you didn't know there was Mother's Day and I just gave you a revelation, and now you're wondering what am I gonna give my mom for Mother's Day? Don't worry about it. That's why I'm making this video. I'm here to help you people. The blanket's just gonna go everywhere. Everything's just gonna be a hurricane. I don't. Oh, it's not bad. What's that? And being obese like that, you really do stop caring. To get to that place, you have to stop caring about yourself. I felt like I was, the way I would pretend like, oh, you know what, I just don't care. I'm like this really, like, you know, the whole like not like the other girls kind of vibe where I just don't care about myself. I don't like to put myself together. Like, why do I need to fold my clothes? Why do I need to keep my room clean? Like, I can just be like super messy and a really gross person, and that's a cool thing. And I am fat and I just don't care. Like, that was the persona that I was creating for myself. And people thought it was funny for some reason. I don't know why, but some people thought it was funny and they were like, oh, Germaine, you're so funny. But honestly, like, that's not who I was. And I was honestly disgusted in myself. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. Every time I get ready, I would just look at my face and above. I didn't like looking at how I looked in clothes. I hated taking pictures of myself. Or whenever I was in a picture, I would always do something really funny or really silly. I didn't want to just like smile or try to look pretty, or I would like hide behind someone. I didn't want to take pictures with skinny people because I felt it made me look so much bigger and I was embarrassed. I just want to hide myself. I remember that I would always get so triggered when someone was to say the word fat or big or anything correlating to being fat or big. And I would get so triggered. I would be like, instantly I would be like, are people looking at me? Are people looking at me? Like, I don't know, I feel like definitely other people out there who are obese or who are obese, you can relate to me. Like, you just constantly feel like everyone's like looking at you, or everyone is thinking that you're fat. All the time in my mind, I'm just constantly so aware that I'm fat, and I'm thinking everyone is thinking that too. Whenever I walk into a room, I would always ask my sister, I remember, I would be like, is that girl bigger than me? Do I look like that? Because sometimes I don't know how big I look, and I needed to look at someone else to kind of know how big I look. So I would ask my sister, like, is my body like that? Or does she look bigger than me? Or am I bigger than her? My sister is not one of those person who's like, oh no, you are definitely smaller than her. No, she would tell me honestly, and so that would kind of give me an idea of how big I've gotten or how big I am. And yeah, I would just constantly be so focused on the fact that I am overweight and I am big, and everybody can see that I am just really big. I remember that whenever I wanted snacks, because when did I not want snacks? But every time I wanted like chocolates or ice cream or whatever, I would always send my sister to go and buy it because I was so embarrassed. I didn't want people to see me buy junk food. and I would always ask my sister to help me, and I would be like, okay, I'll also buy it for you, so if you go and help me buy, I will buy for you as well. Like, I would always do stuff like that. Or I would be so embarrassed, like when we go to a restaurant, I would be so shy to walk into the restaurant, and I'll be so self-conscious that people are looking at me, are people looking at me as I walk into the restaurant. And then sometimes even to place my order, I would ask my mom to place the order for me. I was just so self-conscious and so like embarrassed all the time, but for good reason. I remember how I would have to, this is so ridiculous, but I would have to like measure chairs to make sure that I can fit, because my biggest fear was always chairs with handles, and my hips were so big, so my biggest fear was always chairs with handles and if my butt can fit in them. And I kid you not, there were times where I would be slightly stuck in the plastic chair that has handles on the side. I would kind of be a little stuck, and I would just try to pull myself out, and then my hip would be so bruised and so pained. I've never really broken any chair or anything like that. I can't remember. I don't think I have, but I always had the fear. Oh my gosh, you know what was the worst thing? I don't know if you guys know those plastic chairs that when you sit, like the legs are so frail, and I experience this when I sit on the chair. The leg suddenly starts going like this. That is so embarrassing, and everyone can see that happening to you. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. So that's something that used to happen to me when I sit in a chair. Sometimes if it's a plastic chair and I get so nervous, sometimes I would just rather stand than to sit and even like attempt sitting in case that happens. And bear in mind, some of these things are things that maybe other people don't notice or other people don't realize, but because I am overweight, I am obese, I can see this for myself, I can feel it myself. I'm the one paying attention to things like this. So other people would sometimes do things like, maybe they would squeeze through something, and with a team of people, and to get a shortcut, people would like squeeze through like a wall or something, and I instantly know I cannot fit. And it's so embarrassing because sometimes they won't think that, hey, I don't think she can fit. Everyone's just going, and then suddenly it's my turn and I'm just like, it's okay, you guys go ahead, because I don't want to attempt. What if I get stuck in between a wall? That's so much more embarrassing. I remember that I used to claim to be an introvert. I used to always say that, oh, I'm an introvert, I'm just such a homebody. I don't like going out, I don't like doing anything outside, I just like being at home, I like the quiet, I hate people. But really, I just didn't want to be seen. I didn't want people to see me. I would much rather just stay home and eat my pizza and indulge in my chocolates and just do me. I was always a grumpy person, a grumpy, angry, like annoyed, just an all-around bitchy person. And I remember my sister and my mom just always saying like, this is why people don't talk to you, or this is why people don't come up to you and stuff like that, because of your, like, you have this aura of you where you're just like, don't talk to me, or like you're just so like mean to people. And the truth is, I was not that way because that's who I was. I was that way because it was a coping mechanism. I better reject people first before they reject me. I was so fearful of rejection. I didn't even realize that I was so fearful of rejection that I would much rather reject people first before they reject me. If you notice, all of these fat positive people, all these like obese people, they will always talk and come at you in a very like harsh, very like aggressive kind of way. And I don't mean like aggressive as in like gangster, but I mean like aggressive in like when they talk, they are so condescending, they are so like, they put you down. But it's a coping mechanism. It's the, let me show you that I am tough and what you say has no power over me. It's that, it's a show. They don't actually mean it. They have to know deep down that there is some truth to what people are saying. There is no way these obese people genuinely deep down believe that being obese is healthy, that health comes in every size, that it doesn't, there's no such thing as healthy foods. Like every time I hear a new thing that people are talking about, I'm just like, what world is this? Like, this is delusion. This is literally like just living in like a fantasy world where everything that's a fact is just like opinions. They look at facts as opinions. Oh, that's just your thoughts, that's just your opinions, that's what you think. But it's the truth. You can't tell me like green is yellow or green is red. Green is green, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, it's so crazy. Sometimes when I watch these things, I just feel so like stressed and angry. And I think, I don't know whether a lot of people agree with me. I mean, based on what I saw in the comments, I feel like a lot of people agree with me. But like, what makes me really angry even more is because I was also obese, and as an obese person, I can speak for our type of people that you are lying. Half the things you're saying, you know, is not true. You're just saying these things to make yourself feel better, or you're just saying these things because you want other people to perceive you based on what you're saying instead of what you actually are. You're hoping that longer enough that I tell people, hey, being fat is healthy, health comes in every shape and sizes, people would actually believe it, and then like we'll all be okay. You're not gonna solve the actual root problems. You're just going to like live in this fantasy world and just hope that everyone get on board with you so that you can be accepted by society for being fat and living the way you are. And then at some point you die, and then it's like, what was the purpose of all of this? Whenever I get on the LRT, the train, I used to always have this thought in my mind that how I will know that I have made it in my weight loss journey is when my butt on the LRT seat does not go over, but just takes one part, just takes my box. I don't know if you know, because LRT seats are pretty small, and sometimes when you sit down you could overlap a little bit and there'll be a line, and I would always stare at that and just say, I would know I've made it when my butt fits into just my box and doesn't take up space, because sometimes people wouldn't sit next to me because I was taking up a lot of space, and so I would feel so bad that, hey, like because of me other people also can't sit, I'm taking up more than one seat. I sometimes just stand, and I always had this vision that I would know I've made it if and just recently I got on the train and I took a picture of my seat and sent it to my sister. I finally was sitting in my seat and I was not overlapping into the next seat, and I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe this is actually happening. Like just little things like this that normal people don't realize, but because you're obese, you realize and you pay attention to this kind of stuff. Or like constantly adjusting my clothes, like as it rises up, I'm just constantly pulling it down and stuff, worried that my fats can be seen. And like when finally I didn't have any more of those bad fats, I was so like, the freedom that I felt to just like be wearing clothes and not having to worry. So yeah, these are some of the weird things. I feel like I have so many more, but I think this is just some of the few that I could think off the top of my head that I wanted to share with you guys. These are things that people who are like in a normal weight range, you don't really notice these things, but these are things that obese people definitely do go through, and I'm pretty sure that I'm speaking for a majority, because I don't know everyone's journey, but I feel like the majority would go through similar things and have a similar journey. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you want me to make more content on this topic, because I feel like I have so much more to share in relation to what it was like being obese. And also I am documenting my journey of my current weight loss on this channel as well, so please stay subscribed and let me know what other kind of videos you'd like me to post on this channel, what you would like to see from me. I would love to make videos that you guys want to see as well, instead of just videos that I want to post. And I like having you guys on this journey with me. I genuinely wanted to make sure that I document this next stage of my weight loss journey with you guys on the internet, and I wanted it to be like a thing that we can all do together. So if you're also on a weight loss journey, then it is so nice to have you on board with me, and then we can do this together and yeah, just become like the best versions of ourselves. Anything that is within your control that you can do, let's do it, and then surrender the rest to God. So yeah guys, I will see you in my next video.